the permafrost is melting. Much of the infrastructure in Alaska and other countries was built on top of permafrost, which is like the name, permanently frozen. Well, a lot of it ain't so permanently frozen anymore. If you run around Alaska to a lot of the bases I had up there, you see cracks in runways and buildings and infrastructure that weren't there before because of the thawing. Uh, Subterranean area. And that's going to take investment to fix that we have not put in place. The biggest thing, though, is it's opening up sea routes that are very lucrative. If you look at the northern sea route that the Russians opened up, you're talking about a 10-day to 14-day cut off of the transit from Japanese and Chinese ports into northern Russia and Europe. And so if you can cut that much time off transit and not have to go through the Bab el Mandeb and the Suez Canal and all these areas that are very difficult to transit, that is gigantic. And so this is because the sea ice is retreating. And so you're actually seeing more routes potentially opening up in the future. So this gets into icebreakers and all, but the issue is it's opportunity. The other thing with the sea ice retreating is it's opening up some areas of exploration that weren't there before. Natural gas, rare earth minerals. It's opportunity. I used to tell people up there that came to visit us up in Alaska, this is opportunity. Unfortunately, opportunity brings competition. Competition brings crisis. And right now, if you look at the 8 Arctic nations, and to get into the Arctic Club, you got to have territory in the Arctic, and that's the U.S. is because the top third of Alaska is in the club. The good news on that, of the 8 Arctic nations, 7 of them are now in NATO, with Finland and Sweden assessing into the alliance. The bad part about that is the 8th nation is Russia. And they got about 40+% of the coastline up there, and a absolutely overwhelming amount of the investment in Arctic infrastructure is Russian. And then if you start looking at the numbers of icebreakers and et cetera, the Russians are much more established than the NATO nations up there. So we've got some work to do. And it's one of these places that, for the good of America and Canada, for the good of our security, we would benefit from the Arctic maintaining itself as a free and open common. And I would say that's going to be in jeopardy in the next decade or two with the changes up there.